Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Comics from the Future. I'm Jason,
I'm Andy.
and we're with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. So typically we have a third host, Megan, but unfortunately we have one employee on vacation, and then another has been sick for the last few days. So because of that, we're down a few people. So Megan's out front running register, leaving this to us. So, pretty big week this week. Some of which is because anytime it's about to be a holiday, which of course it's about to be 4th of July,
hmm
DC does a double week. They will have you order twice as many things and then they'll skip the holiday week. So not that this week is 4th of July weekend, but next week will be, they're making us all order that stuff early.
Yep.
So you're going to see a lot of DC on this show. However, really, there's plenty of Marvel. There's plenty of everything.
Yeah. This is one of our bigger shows. It would be even if there was only 1 week of DC. So
Yeah.
pretty exciting. I always like when we have stuff to talk about.
So of course we're down one person and we have extra things to talk about, but we'll make it through. It's okay. So a lot of this I'm pretty excited about. Some really cool things. So let's launch into it. Beginning with our featured comics. So of course all these are comics. This is what they call the final order cutoff. It is the last chance for you to place your orders by Sunday or Monday, where you're guaranteed to get these comics.
Yeah.
After that, us retailers, our numbers will be in. So that's what the show is all about. Let's begin.
Starting with a book that I hadn't even realized was a thing. This is Ant-Man #1. I don't know how this slipped by my radar, but I do not remember hearing anything about this. I usually look at early solicitations when they come out, but it's a nice surprise. So this is Ant-Man. This can be a 5-part miniseries by Al Ewing and art by Tom Riley. And it's really cool. So at least this first issue is going to go back. This is Hank Pym, Ant-Man. And this is going to be kind of a classic tale of Ant-Man going on a date with Janet Van Dyne, his girlfriend, and but the villains, they don't know it's date night, and so they are gonna come after them. Sounds really fun, but it also says who is the mysterious person stalking him in this. I think it's also cool because it says this is going to be a series that explores the past, present, and future of the character. So I wonder if maybe this mysterious figure is going to be reappearing in this, and it's always interesting to see why do an Ant-Man series right now. Sometimes they do that and then there's something big coming with that character in the future, so pretty cool. I think this one sounds really fun. I love this cover. So this is our Ant-Man #1 main cover. Then we have another great one. This is the Gleason variant where Ant-Man's giving Hulk a big old punch in the chin. And then we have the Scotty Young. Looks like he went to Burger King. He got a double Whopper.
He wanted to make sure he would be full. So I'm interested in this, like that it's Hank Pym.
Yeah.
So that's really, you don't really get Hank Pym in a whole lot of stuff. If you do, he tends to often be a villain at that point. So, okay, so our first selection from DC of many is Batman White Knight Presents Red Hood. So this is going to be a 2-issue miniseries, and it's just further expanding the universe of Batman White Knight. So, of course, in this, Red Hood is Jason Todd, and Jason Todd runs into a new character, a girl named Gan, who needs help fighting a super criminal in her town. And so it's not that Gan is just going to be sitting by the waysides. According to what I've read, she's going to be fighting right alongside Jason Todd. So it sounds like a pretty important new character for the White Knight universe.
Yes, I know on one of we don't have it here because it's one of the incentive covers, but it does look like there is the new female Robin character that I'm wondering. It was kind of hinted at that he had his own Robin in a previous series. I think maybe we're going to see the makings of that character.
So this is the Sean Murphy regular cover. Of course, Sean Murphy is the writer and creator of the whole White Knight thing. And then here is the COIPEL variant with Jason Todd. It looks like he's
on like a dirt bike.
Yeah, some grit, some dust, some glass shattering up towards him.
Okay, next up we have a new independent book. This is Rogues Gallery #1. This is by Hannah Rose May. You may or may not recognize that name. This is her first foray into comics, but she is an actor who has been on things like Ballers, Shooter, and Altered Carbon. She brings her storytelling skills to Rogues Gallery, which is, it said it is The Purge meets Scream, which is just horrifying. But it is about a home invasion. It's a home invasion thriller where the person's home is a real superhero who has turned into an actress, and now she is being terrorized by people cosplaying as her worst villains in her superhero life. So, very interesting story. I'm interested to see how this is going to play out over, I believe, 5 issues. It's going to be a few issues at least for such a seemingly small scale story within a house, but I'm sure we're going to find out more about the heroes and all of that. So this is our A cover for Rogues Gallery. We have our LOTAY variant, and then we have our Mason variant.
A lot of blood. It looks like these people who are dressing up as her villains really do intend some severe harm based on these covers. All right, so next up, we have this neat little mini-series. It is a 3-parter called Superman Space Age. So I think if any of you have been reading comics long enough, you can recognize the art here. That is definitely Mike Allred. So this is from writer Mark Russell with, of course, Mike Allred doing the art. It's a little, even though it's 3 issues, these are like quadruple size issues.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this first one is 80 pages, so, it will be a $9.99 issue because it's 80 pages. And what this is doing is it's kind of telling the story of Superman, but it's layering it on top of our own history in the 60s. It says right on the cover, will the 60s bring the end of the world? So it's going to be Superman is, on Earth, but it's an Earth a bit more like ours. However, the crisis events are going to happen. And so, it didn't reveal a lot, but that's what I got from it. It's sort of like Superman's in our world in the 60s, crisis events are happening, but also set more with our world history as well. So,
and who better to do a 60s era book than Mike Allred?
Yeah.
He captures that perfect.
For sure. So that is what's going on in Superman Space Age. So this is, of course, cover A by Allred. And then check out this Steve Rude variant. Just a lot to take in.
Yeah. Steve Rude also doing very classic Superman stuff.
Yeah. Looks like he's going for the suit.
Yeah. Okay, so next up is a mini-series. This is 5 issues. This is Genis-Vell, Captain Marvel. Is that how you say his name? I don't know if I've ever said Genis or Genis.
I've heard it both ways. I'm actually not sure if there's like a totally correct way.
I don't think it's Genis-Vell.
You're not getting the alien accent correct.
Yeah. So if you don't know, he is the son of the original Captain Marvel. I feel like when you go, the further back in Captain Marvel's history you go, it gets a little complicated, but this is a character they are bringing back into the forefront. This is written by Peter David, and I thought, oh, this is probably one of those tales set back when that character was an active character or whatever. But it actually sounds like this is bringing him into the modern continuity of Marvel as him and Rick Jones. Rick Jones of original Hulk fame, but Rick Jones has been everything in the Marvel Universe. He's kind of Marvel Universe's Jimmy Olsen, who has been every form of superhero and everything. They are have returned to life in the current day, and Rick Jones is trying to stop them from fading out of existence. So I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds very interesting. This is a character I know I've read in things, but not to the point where I fully understand the character. So this will be cool to read, and hopefully it gives you a good backstory on him, and because I think we're not done seeing the Captain Marvel family, not the Shazam version of Captain Marvel, but we've got Carol, we've got all of these. I don't think we're done seeing the extent of those,
Yeah, because
especially in the movies.
Now even Binary is split from Carol as its
Yes,
own
they're kind of building that
entity.
universe out, which I think is really cool. So this is the A cover. The art is done by Juanan Ramirez. We've got our B cover by Cabal. We've got our Jurgens variant. And a Momoko variant.
Very spacey, smoky.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Okay, so DC is doing an Artemis Wanted one-shot. So that's probably the main thing to know about this is not a new series. It's definitely a one-shot. And this springs out of Trial of the Amazons. So after what Artemis did in Trial of the Amazons, which I don't have to reveal this if you've read or you haven't, but it's not a good thing. Artemis didn't do something everybody's happy with her. She is on the run. She has kind of destroyed her reputation, destroyed her past. Where will she go from here? And it says that perhaps she will have to turn to the gods to figure out what her future is. So, yeah, if you've been reading the Trial of the Gods stuff or Trial of the Amazons and all the Wonder Woman family stuff, you may want to know what's going on with Artemis, what's going to happen with her. Well, that's what this one shot is all about. So here is the regular cover, and then we have this Shirahama variant, which I think that's one of the best Artemis covers I've seen in a while.
Yeah. This is interesting. I wonder if it's going to kind of work as an epilogue to War of the Amazon or Trial of the Amazons, or kind of launching her off into what's she going to be doing.
I think it's going to launch her into something else.
Yeah,
so
she's a cool character. Okay, next up, book I'm very excited about. So this is Skybound X, issue number 25. Now you're saying,
man,
what happened? I thought I was getting all of Skybound X. So, as you can see on there, in tiny little under the Skybound X logo, this is like comics, jokingly enough, comics from the future. So, they skipped ahead. I believe Skybound X ended on issue 7. They're jumping ahead to issue 25, and this is going to debut 4 all new upcoming comic launches that I did not know before researching for this show. So from what it sounds like, each of these is going to spin off into their own individual series. And why is it so exciting? Well, because of this cover, you see that is Battle Beast from Invincible. Invincible, surprising enough, back early on Invincible, there were a couple of spin-off books. There was an Adam Eve, like 1 or 2 issue thing, and a Rexplode. But from the height of Invincible, we've never really had anything else. This is going to be our first, I feel like, true return to Invincible since it ended so many years ago now, exploring one of the coolest characters, Battle Beast.
I wonder if Kirkman will handle it or if he'll...
So it said at least this story that's going to be in this issue is Robert Kirkman and Ryan Ottley returning your Invincible team to tell this story. Hopefully they will be the ones who take it on from there, because I think this is so cool. You can even see Invincible on the cover.
That for sure. You see that yellow and blue, and it's his hair, the back of his hair.
I think this is going to be awesome, but that is not the only story in here. We also have Dark Ride, which is by Joshua Williamson and Ed Brisson, who is your team behind Birthright. But this one, you might have seen it. It was the actual book was solicited just recently, and it's about the kind of horrors of theme parks. We've got a book called Chroma, which is by Lorenzo De Felici, which was your artist from Oblivion Song, is going to be doing the writing and art on a new book. We have Scurry by Max Smith, which you'll definitely be able to tell what it's about when you see the cover. So this is our A cover with Battle Beast by Ryan Ottley. This is our De Felici variant. And this is the Scurry variant. This is Max Smith. Definitely looks pretty horrifying to be a mouse in a world where there's a giant glowy-eyed dog.
Yeah, see, I saw this cover earlier, but I with no context. I was like, what is this? That's interesting.
So I love this idea of, like, they're promising these are going to be ongoing books. So, it's not like maybe, it says they are. So I think this is a great one to pick up. to sample them out to see if these are books you want to jump on when they start.
Yeah, before the show, Andy reminded me that we just picked up at the shop first appearance of Battle Beast. So hopefully that'll be going up in value.
I believe it's Invincible number 19, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, so next we have DC Mech, which is going to be a 6-issue miniseries. So, Marvel had the Avengers do the Mech thing, which we'll be getting to later in the show. DC's like, hey, it's our turn. But, like it or not, they kind of have me hooked on these Mech things. So in this one, it starts back in World War II, where these parademon mech creatures attack the Earth from Apocalypse. And they kill the Justice League. They pretty much end the age of superheroes. Like, superheroes just kind of die holding them off. Well, since then, their technology has sat on Earth, and Earth has prepared for their return. We expect that that's not all. And so everybody's been preparing. Well, what happens when Kal-El, an alien, lands on our planet with his own mech technology? Well, I'll tell you what happens. Two of the best mechs that we have, one is the Batman mech and the Flash mech, go up against Kal-El. So, I think I know as well as you. Clearly, they're going to probably all band together. Yeah. Apocalypse and his mechs are coming back. But, what can I do? I want to see the Justice League, all his mechs, told in this way.
Yeah. Are they eventually going to Voltron up and all combine to make a Justice League bot?
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
6 issues is great. It gives it just enough time to really breathe and be cool, but it's not like, oh, it's just an ongoing and it'll never end. Like, I think this sounds like it's going to be really cool. So we have the regular cover, and then we have I
believe that's Dan Mora.
Yes. Yeah, the Dan Mora schematics on the Batmech cover. So.
Okay, next up. Need I say more? This is Madballs versus Garbage Pail Kids. This is a mashing up of the hit 80s franchises. This is really cool. So I believe there's a company that made toys based on this kind of concept just recently. And maybe, Dynamite saw and thought that was so cool that we need to make more of these. There's not a whole lot of explanation for the storyline of this. I don't feel like you need a whole lot of explanation. It's just chaos. Definitely go online. There's some preview pages of this. The art style, definitely reminiscent of the original box art, the card art. It's all out gross, just liquids everywhere from orifices. So really fun. This is it's actually by Sholey Fish, and the artist by Jason Crosby. Sholey Fish has done a lot with like the Scooby-Doo comics and everything, so really fun. This is our A cover.
I was telling Andy, if you grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, if you had a Madball, you had some Garbage Pail Kids, and vice versa. One of my friends, he had all the Madballs. We were always throwing those things around and just checking them out. They were weird. They didn't work the best as balls because they were so uneven.
Yeah.
But, when they looked that weird, you would figure they would roll crazy and bounce crazy. And, of course, I had a bunch of Garbage Pail Kids. Megan loves Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah. I wish she was here to talk about this one.
But anyhow, yeah, we're excited to see what they do with this. Hopefully, they do a lot better than Garbage Pail Kids, the movie.
I feel like that's a solid base to work from. I think they'll do it. Okay, then we have the Crosby variant. See him facing off. I love they're doing these. How could you not do these? These are the trading card variant.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be one of these for every issue. We have this is also funny. This is the blank sketch cover, but there's also a puke green sketch cover. You know what? They had to do it.
Yeah.
It writes itself.
All right, so this is DC Vampires All Out War, a new 6-issue miniseries continuing the whole DC Vampires thing. This is supposed to be sort of the end of it, though, I believe. So this is there is one last human underground hideout city, and the person running it is John Constantine. Well, for certain reasons that aren't explained, Constantine needs one of the head lieutenant vampires killed. So here they are trying to hide, but they have to go and try to assassinate one of the leaders of the vampires. So he's going to have to put together a crack team with some of the very few superheroes who are still alive to see if this can be done. So I'm sure if you're one of the people reading DC Vampires, I mean, at our store, we haven't had anybody drop off that pretty much. It is pretty much the same people are like, sign me up for the next one, the next one, the next one.
I feel like they knew what they were getting into.
Yeah, this sounds pretty strong. So this is the regular cover, and then we have a variant. I believe it's just the Kale New variant.
It's very creepy.
I know. I mean, already it's like you don't want to go up against vampires, but then you see it's these vampires. Yeah,
that's not fair.
That's just terrible. All right, so along the same lines but different, there's also this Deceased War of the Undead Gods #1 of an 8-part series. Now, here's the deal. We're going to be talking more about this in 2 weeks. This is an early solicit for an acetate cover. So the acetate covers are the ones they feel like all plasticky and glossy and nice. And when you open them, it reveals the rest of the picture underneath. You know, so right now we can see in the bat symbol, there's Batman. He's fighting, you know, some zombies. And when you open that black and red part, you'll get to see the whole scene. Well, that takes a lot more time for them to produce these. So they are soliciting this early. And so we only have this cover you have to order, but I guarantee retailers are going to underorder it. And so let your store know. You have to let them know this week. We take our DC orders by Sunday that you want this cover, even though the rest. You may ask your store. They may even be like, I haven't even heard of this yet.
Yeah.
Because it's so far out there. But you know, it's our job to stay on top of this.
You know, it's interesting they're doing this. A lot of the times they'll solicit it at the same time as everything else, but it'll come out a few weeks later. Yeah. This, they're trying to get it. I'm guessing this will come out in the store the same day. At the
same time, yes. They finally are trying to get ahead of this. That's a good point you made. Yeah. Usually the acetates are late. This time, I think they're trying to get ahead of it. So this is Deceased War of the Undead Gods #1, the Kale New acetate variant. I am going to talk about the book for a second, though. So the anti-life equation, you know, in the last part, Darkseid got turned to a zombie. The anti-life equation is now turning everyone into zombies, but it's going out into the galaxy. So the last few remaining heroes are trying to stop it throughout space as it starts turning whole planets into zombies. So that's what's going to be 8-issue series. Here's your chance to pre-order that acetate cover. All right, so.
Those were #1s, but these are more #1s.
Here are the other #1s that we did not feature.
Starting with Young Justice Targets. This is a 6-part miniseries that's based in the world of the was originally Cartoon Network. Then it went to the DC streaming app. Now it's on HBO. But you know, it's the Young Justice animated series. Highly popular. It's had many seasons. About to start a new season. This is going to follow up from the events of Young Justice Phantoms, which I believe was the previous season, following up on some of the story arcs and the characters, filling in the space in between seasons. But this will also have extra stories that says they're from unseen parts of previous seasons. So I guess you're going to get more characters that were around in the early seasons, maybe when Dick Grayson was Robin instead of Nightwing, that kind of thing. This is written by Greg Weisman, who is the writer-creator of the show. He's a great writer. His comic stuff are really good. I believe he wrote that Star Wars Kanan miniseries that was highly popular and everything. So, and the art is by Christopher Jones. So definitely don't miss out on this one if you're a fan of the Young Justice animated series. This is our A cover. Then we have our Megan Hetrick variant with Red Arrow.
Okay, also starting up is this series called Wild Cards, which is going to be a 4-issue miniseries. So this is the other thing that George R.R. Martin is known for. You know, obviously, he's known for Game of Thrones, and this is his other big thing.
Yeah.
That he didn't write all this, so he oversaw it. So this is, I think, 20 novels, 23 short stories. Over 40 different people wrote this, but he was guiding the whole thing.
Yeah, he kind of established the universe.
Yeah, this is his universe, but I mean, you have like Zeleny wrote on this, like big names. And so what this is it's an alternate Earth where an alien virus has caused certain people to gain superpowers. It's not everyone. In fact, a lot of people die from this virus. Some people just get kind of like a crappy mutation, and then very few gain the superpower. And I think the crux of it, though, is how would that have changed our history for people to have superpowers? It isn't just, hey, it's like Marvel Universe because people have superpowers. It's no, it's our world, but with just very few people having powers. So 4-issue series, it is drawing from a lot of different source materials. That's what's going on in Wild Cards number 1 of 4. And so here is the LaRocca variant and the Ken Lashley variant.
Okay, so this is not a number 1, but it kind of feels like it. This is Detective Comics 1062, and this is a new creative team taking on Detective Comics. I love this cover. This is going to be by Ram V and Cy Spurrier, I guess, co-writing it. Maybe there's each, we'll see, one does one part, one does another character, or something like that. But the art is going to be done by Rafael Albuquerque. I'm a big fan of, from American Vampire and so many other things. And in this, this is part 1 of Gotham Nocturne, and it is kind of put out there as a gothic opera version of Gotham. So Batman can't pin why he has this feeling, this looming dread of something. He's done all this research trying to figure out what's going on. He can't figure it out, but he just knows something bad is happening. Which could also be the other thing it says, which there are demons walking the streets of Gotham, but I guess they've disguised themselves so you don't really know who they are. And Batman also must figure out, has he had a demon inside of him all this time? And if he does, why hasn't it taken over? So that is a very interesting, almost sounds like an Elseworld type story for Batman, but I'm very interested, especially the aesthetic they're going with. It's very gothic opera, play, that kind of thing. So this is our A cover for that. We have a Bermejo variant. Glad to see Bermejo's just
I was going to say, it's like that main cover. It seems like everything is changing about Detective Comics, but not the Bermejo variant. Yeah. The Bermejo variant, right in line with all the other ones he's been doing.
And then we have the J.H. Williams the third variant, which is still very, you can see the curtains at the top and everything, very much like a production. There's even a incentive cover that is very almost Batman as the Phantom of the Opera. So very excited about this take on Batman.
Yeah, I thought Phantom of the Opera for that A cover. And also I like what they did where it looked like hands were reaching up, but they were sort of flames as well. I'm looking forward to reviewing this one once it gets here.
So that's you claiming this one.
I mean, I've been reading all the Detective. Okay, but this would be the point where we swap off finally.
Yeah. But so. you can continue, yeah.
All right, so check this out. They are re-releasing Prophet number 1 for its 30th anniversary, but it is going to be remastered. So this is Prophet number 1 remastered by creator Rob Liefeld, and it also says by by some of today's top comic talent, but it does not say who. So it's going to be sort of a surprise as to what other top comic talent. Now, some of the covers are done by big names, but that doesn't mean they're doing the interiors necessarily. Because I know like Jim Lee's got a cover on here, and it's like, I don't know if Jim Lee actually did the interiors for this. I mean, maybe. I mean,
Yeah, I think there are some preview pages of this. But I don't think they list who the artists are on them. You just see kind of the different takes of Prophet.
A lot of times when you have to get a lot of artists together to do something, it's hard to compile that info until a little late in the process. But let's look at some of the covers on this. So, of course, we got our main Liefeld cover. Liefeld did a secondary cover as well. But check this one out.
He's like, today's top talent, me!
Check this out, though. Stephen Platt.
That's insane.
Definitely Stephen Platt right there. I mean, you can just get that old Moon Knight, Mark Spector Moon Knight vibes off of that.
Also with the moon.
There you go, yeah. And then here's the Jim Lee.
I have to figure that maybe is a piece that Jim Lee did back, maybe for Wizard Magazine or something, because it definitely looks like his old X-Men style.
Reminds me of a trading card.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. And then here is the David Finch variant. So there's also a Joe Quesada variant that was not available yet, but if you want to get them all, we want you to know about them. And there is also just a blank one, no images, in case you want to take it and get an artist to do a commission on it.
Okay, next up is a new indie book called Blink. This sounds interesting because it's about a character named Booker who has been haunted by a childhood that she can't remember since she was found unconscious and kind of traumatized in the streets of New York. But years later, while searching the internet, she comes across a cryptic website that's just like closed circuit cameras filming dank, creepy rooms in some building, and this triggers a memory for her. And so now she's going to find that building, investigate it, and see, try to recover what happened in her childhood. And it says it pulls her into a world of camera-filled dark mazes of decayed social experiment called Blink. So sounds pretty intense, but very interesting idea. So we've got our A cover here, our ALLRED variant.
That's a lot creepier than that A cover.
Yes.
Wow, that looks like a whole different comic to me now.
And then we have our Henderson variant.
Okay, so Hellboy and the BPRD is having a one-shot called Time is a River. So this is going to return Mike Mignola once again to the Hellboy universe, where he is doing the writing on this issue. And this is sort of a companion continuation of 2020's The Miser's Gift storyline. So that's what this is. It's just a one-shot. At this point, Mike Mignola, he can do Hellboy when he wants or when he doesn't want. You know, that's just how it is. When the creative juices flow through him, he releases them. I'd also like to mention that here in Chattanooga, the Chattanooga Film Festival has begun. It started yesterday and it's going through Tuesday. And there is a documentary on Mike Mignola and him creating monsters and demons and Hellboy. And our shop is actually sponsoring that for the film festival. Yay!
Have you watched it yet?
Not yet. So there was not a lot of time last night, but we're definitely going to this weekend. So the Chattanooga Film Festival is an online festival this time. It used to be, it will be in future years where you can actually go there physically. But right now, anybody can watch this. So just thought I'd mention it since we're talking Mike Mignola and Hellboy.
Yeah.
So this is the regular cover, and then here is the Mignola variant.
And it's great that they do one-shots, because you can, even if you didn't read the other story, you can just jump into Hellboy.
Hellboy's always worked fine as one-shots.
Oh, yeah.
Mignola's always been okay at doing those one-shots or two-issue stories. Okay,
this is really cool. So IDW's trying to get the most Transformers out they can before the license goes to someone else. But this is Transformers Best of Rarities, which I kind of like that it's, it's Soundwave
with the little tape.
But it's also like rarities and B-sides type idea. So this is, like all of the Best of Transformers, going to be a collection of previously released stories, but this time has hard-to-find issues and even never reprinted stories from the US Transformers series and the UK. So even if you're a super Transformers fan, there may be some stories in here you've never read. So I like they're doing this. Some hard-to-find stuff, some weirder stuff, all of that. Also, just keeping on with these great covers. So just the one cover for this, but don't want you to miss out, because who knows when these are going to be printed again.
Okay, so here's a new one from Source Point Press. Now, if you just take a look at the cover, you probably already know what it's drawing from.
Yeah.
So this is called Little Red Ronin. And in this, retelling of Little Red Riding Hood that sounds pretty different, there is a wolf, and he's been terrorizing a village. But this little girl, Little Red Ronin, decides to go hunt him because her family lineage has... they've been... their family name needs clearing because they're accused of spreading propaganda. So that's all it says. My guess is the family's probably been warning people about the wolf, things it can do, and everyone's saying, no, 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 it can't be that, it can't be that. And so their family name has taken a hit. Well, she's going to go out and prove that the wolf is real by hunting it down. So I doesn't say that this is a mini series, but I'm betting it is.
Yeah.
I couldn't find out how many issues, but that's what Little Red Ronin is about from Source Point Press. We have this regular cover. Here is the Valencia variant.
Very different.
And then, well, here's another different one. The Wallace variant, which is very reminiscent of something.
I feel like it's missing 3 people.
You're right. Well, the steam is
Yeah.
taking the place of the other.
The little girl also has like a little Tanuki tail, like Tanuki Mario.
I saw that, yeah. I don't know if she's like a raccoon girl or...
Yeah, maybe
or
she could float short distances to get to platforms.
Or turn to stone.
Oh, yep, that too. Okay, next up is another new independent book. There's a lot of new number 1s for independent series. This is Ninja Kaiden. And I think I said that right because everything wants to autocorrect to Raiden or something like this. So this is Ninja Kaiden, number 1. This is by Eric Felici and art by Lucas Meyer. And it follows a character named Yuko. He was a elite soldier, kind of the best of the best. But when his father dies, he takes over his business. It's a very big business. Where he discovers his father's pet project that he was doing in secret, which was a mysterious Kaiden armor, which allows the wearer to see, speak, and touch ghosts. So, sounds pretty cool. I haven't heard kind of concept of you put on armor and then you can kind of access the spirit world, but looks interesting. I like, it's kind of what every kid draws of these like cyberpunk samurais. Pretty cool. So this is our A cover for that.
Is that a lightsaber on his back that he just keeps on and just right on his
Just
back?
let it burn. I don't care. Then we have the Friends variant and the Silva variant.
Okay, so now we're going to get to cool covers and other comics. So we're going to show you a lot of awesome variants and other issue number 2s and 3s we think that are noteworthy that you might want to remember to order or tell your store you want to sign up for. Beginning with Captain America Symbol of Truth number 3. So in this issue, Sam Wilson gets put on trial in Latvia by Dr. Doom.
I feel like that's a little weighted.
I know. Yeah, so we'll have to see how that goes. I have a feeling the trial is going to end up with somebody getting punched in the face.
Yep.
And so here's the regular cover. Here is the Bradshaw variant and the John Tyler Christopher action figure variant.
And next up we have Iron Cat number 2 for this new mini-series about who is mysteriously wearing the Iron Cat suit. In this, Iron Cat will stop at nothing to bring down Black Cat. So your cat versus cat story. This is our A cover. We have our Mayhew Predator variant.
I like this one.
Which we were looking at a lot. If you look in the background, you can see the trophies. Now I'm kind of realizing next to Ghost Rider, is that Man-Thing?
Yeah.
With his tendrils?
Yep, you're right. That's Man-Thing.
That's creepy.
We were wondering who the little one is beneath Red Skull, and then there appears to be a helmet next to the Predator's hip that we weren't sure about. So upper right, we know what that is, but we'll let you guys figure it out.
I like that, a lot of people have done like a character versus a Predator, but they're delving into Predator lore of his trophy room on his ship and stuff. I'm a big fan of that.
Yep.
And then we have the Zama variant as well.
Okay, so this is the second issue of variants. So this is just a regular cover. No, you aren't behind. Variants number 1 has not come out yet. So I read about this one. I was like, I'm lost. This sounds like a lot's going on. I need the number 1 to understand this. So what I know is this has to do with Jessica Jones. She's experiencing blackouts. And the mysterious variants are about to arrive this issue.
Oh, well,
That's
I
what
guess
it
they're not
says.
in the
So
first issue.
I don't know. Well, I mean, maybe they were in it, but they haven't gotten to the destination
Hmm.
where she's at. I'm not sure. So that's all I know about variants number 2. This is the regular cover, and here is the Chavrin.
The variant?
Dare I say it? Yeah, it's a variant for variants.
You have to. They knew it getting into it that was going to be a thing. Okay, speaking of...
See, I told you more mech stuff.
Yeah, I think you were doing this one as well.
Well, that's right. So I'm doing 2 in a row, right? So earlier I did the DC mech one, okay, and I had said Marvel previously did their mech thing. Well, Marvel has upped it because now they're doing Mech Strike Monster Hunters, and this is actually for issue number 2. It's a 5-issue series. Number 1 has not arrived yet. So in this, not only do they have mech suits, but they've been monsterized. I mean, how many layers can you put on something? But at the same time,
is there still a hero at the bottom of it? Or
I like mech stuff and I like monster stuff. So, once again, I'm kind of on the hook for this.
Yeah.
I don't think they could add another layer and keep me there.
And then they're all vampires.
So yeah, the Mech Avengers have been monsterized, and now in this issue, they're going to add 3 members to the team. I believe they're going to add Rocket Raccoon, Groot, and Spider-Gwen. So immediately, I wonder if they'll just be mech, or I wonder if they'll be mech monsters off the bat. So I sure can't wait for that number 1 to get here to see how this happened.
How do we get to this point?
I know. And here is the Christopher variant for that issue 2. So you see Doctor Strange.
Yep.
Yeah, mech suit. I guess he's a monster too. I don't know.
Okay, next up, we've got some Star Wars books, starting out with Star Wars Obi-Wan number 3 of 5. So the Obi-Wan series just wrapped up, but the comic series is still going. In the series, it's been older Obi-Wan kind of reminiscing, looking through his journals, and we get stories throughout his life. In this one, it takes place during the Clone Wars. You can see Obi-Wan with Commander Cody there. And Obi-Wan reflects on one of the most brutal battles in the Clone Wars and the true purpose of a Jedi in times of war, if what they were doing was really what they should have been doing. So, got this great Phil Noto cover here. We have the Kamenkoli variant. And then we have the Sprouse Choose Your Destiny with Kit Fisto. Next up, we also have Dr. Aphra. This is the variant for Dr. Aphra, the Ganichow Pride variant. And we have this awesome Choose Your Destiny Asajj Ventress variant as well.
I like the lightsaber handle.
Yeah, they kind of flow together.
Yeah.
And then another super creepy cover. This is for Venom number 9. This is the Kyle Hotz variant. In this one, it's a tale across time starring Kang. So Venom throughout history, and Kang is watching the whole thing take place.
Okay, so this is the Christian Ward cover for Aquaman Andromeda number 2. So the trade dress wasn't on it yet, but this is the main cover. So what do Ancient Aliens have to do with Atlantis? And I'm not talking about Ancient Aliens, the TV show, that I know of. I haven't read this yet.
Maybe they're watching History Channel there.
Yeah, so this issue is supposed to delve into that. And then we have the Doug Braithwaite variant to Aquaman Andromeda number 2 of 3.
I loved issue 1. It is actually pretty creepy. Very interesting take on Aquaman. And then you have...
Aquaman, right. Number 6. So this is the Osio variant, and this is a Dark Crisis tie-in. So we have several customers who are getting all the Dark Crisis tie-ins. You don't want to miss this one.
Yeah. This one sounds cool, where they're kind of... the Aquaman family are dealing with the death of Aquaman. But also want to mention, and we'll be talking about Flash coming up, a lot of people have requested all the Dark Crisis tie-ins. So don't want to miss out if you're trying to get all of those. They are weaving through a couple of the books.
I like how Black Manta, he is more and more turning into like the extended family member for the Aquaman family. He's like the bad uncle.
The bad Uncle Manta.
Yeah.
And then we have Batman Fortress number 3 of 8. This is the Suyin variant. And this one's really cool. This is for One Dark Night number 3. This is the Sankiewicz variant with, I guess is that Killer Croc kind of walking out into the swamp.
Yeah, that does look like Killer. I see scales and just the hunched and the big broad shoulders.
Very cool.
Okay, so this is the Mattina variant to World's Finest number 5. This is going to end the first arc. I've read a little. I haven't read all of these. You've been reading it.
Yeah.
And you've really enjoyed this arc a lot.
It's one of my favorite series right now.
So this is the Mattina variant. And then here is Batman the Knight number 7. This is the Federici variant. And in this, Bruce Wayne is going to be traveling to New York to see Zatara, and of course Zatara's daughter, Zatanna.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. I think it's interesting how Batman's being trained by all these different experts in their field, and of course Batman would learn about magic. Like, he's got to defend himself against it, so go to Zatara to teach him.
And so this is the Federici variant.
Okay, next up we have Black Adam number 2. This was one of the biggest books this week, if not the biggest. I think everybody's excited about the movie, and this introduced a new character who is possibly either taking over or sharing the powers of Black Adam. This is our A cover. We have our Sandoval variant, our Peterson variant, and our Sarmento variant.
So yeah, there he is. That is Malik, the new character, I believe. Malik Adam. Very interesting. Okay, so this is the Frizen variant for Catwoman number 45. Plenty of people around here collect all the Frizen stuff, and then there are many who collect all the Frizen Catwoman stuff. So here's your chance to pre-order another great Jenny Frizen Catwoman cover for issue number 45.
And then we have Dark Crisis Young Justice number 2. Don't want you to miss out on this one. I love this one. This is another one of my favorite reads this week. And this one is called A Tale of Two Wonder Girls. Cassie Sandsmark helps the Young Justice in whatever world this is, but also she's on the outside trying to get in. I'm about to sneeze. But this is our A cover. And then we have our Sizmesija variant. I've not read that name out loud before.
All right, so this is the Mattina variant for Deathstroke Inc. number 11. And this continues the arc that I haven't started reading yet because it's not out yet, but I can't wait. It is Deathstroke Year 1.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really, really cool.
Yep, Deathstroke's finally getting a Year 1 arc. This is kind of the second part to it. And in this one, it's going to be his first time being an assassin. His first assassination mission. So don't miss that here. And this is the Mattina variant for Deathstroke Inc. number 11.
If you look at the reflection in his helmet,
I saw somebody was there.
You can see who he may be going up against.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is just like I mentioned with the previous one. This is for Flash 784, and this is the second part of Flash's Dark Crisis tie-in. So Wally and his kids are going to whatever weird universe it is that Barry Allen has been held in, and to try to figure out what is going on and where all the heroes are. So you don't want to miss this one, especially if you're trying to read all of Dark Crisis. This is our A cover. Then we have our Bengal variant.
All right, so this is the Derek Chu variant for Harley Quinn number 17. You got to tilt the head to see it. Got to get the taco neck going. But great looking Derek Chu cover. And in this, Harley Quinn is finally going to go up against the Verdict. So it is their probable final battle to this arc. Can Harley win, and can she clear her name?
Okay, then we have Nightwing number 94. Feels like in these variants, Nightwing and Batgirl are getting closer and closer. But this one, it sounds interesting because it says there may be something be revealed that messes up that relationship. And this is the Jamal Campbell variant.
So in the last issue, Nightwing, he said 3 big words to Oracle, but it was like sort of accident, and he almost tried to roll it back. But we're gonna see where that goes. Like, yeah, their relationship's really, really heating up. Okay, so this, funny enough, if you look at it, it's like, oh, it's a Batman cover. No, this is the DeMeo variant for Robin number 16. You see Robin there.
He's on there.
Yeah, yeah. So this sounds great, though. It has a really good A cover to it, too, because Robin and Connor Hawke are going to Tokyo because Flatline has asked him for help against her former mentor, maybe still her mentor, Lord Deathman. So I'm a sucker to see Robin and Flatline together and adventuring. So more of that. So DeMeo variant for Robin number 16.
Like how Robin wasn't back too long in Gotham before he's
know.
Jet setting again.
Yeah.
Okay, then this is number 2 of A Calculated Man. You read this one.
I did.
This week? Or last week, something like that?
Number 1 came out this week. It's already optioned and supposedly in production as a Hulu series. Pretty interesting, where this guy basically decides that he is going to kill everyone in a mob because they put a hit on him. And he used to be their accountant. He's a very intelligent individual who has weird quirks. So he's a really kind of interesting character to read about.
Yeah, so don't miss issue number 2 of A Calculated Man.
Okay, so you read this number 1. So this is Do a Powerbomb number 2 by Daniel Warren Johnson. If you just can't tell by that art, that electric art. Yeah. So in this, will Lana join the Death Life tournament? That is sort of the question, the solicitation.
If she said no, there wouldn't be much of a series. But it led up to that moment where she finally met this person who invited her to it, and it's very almost that Mortal Kombat where they take you to the island where the battle is going to take place. I'm very excited where the series is going.
And here is the Ortiz variant for Do a Powerbomb number 2.
Can't wait to see who the other contestants are. That's always the fun thing. It's kind of like in the Robin when we learned all those other characters and their quirks.
See, I'm wondering about these fluorescent lights they have here. So I'm sure that figures into this person's powers.
Okay, then we have Gunslinger Spawn number 10. I always like to show off because they just do the coolest covers for all the Spawn books. So this is our Keen A cover. And this is our Brett Booth variant, which I don't think we've met this character before. But definitely looks like, this is a boss battle type character.
Yes, for sure.
The big weapon, the kind of floaty script above his head. So excited to see who this is going to be.
The flying hair.
Yeah.
Okay, so check out this Henderson variant for Ice Cream Man number 31. So again, I'll say it. This is the Henderson variant for Ice Cream Man 31. I think some people are going to go, yes, I need to horrify people by having this in my collection. And I'm sure the story is equally horrifying. Basically, the story is about a father and daughter watching each other grow old. So I'm guessing, he's going to watch her grow up and lose her childhood to adulthood. And she's going to see her dad go from, oh, it's my dad, Superman, to, oh, he's getting kind of old and feeble.
Yeah.
So another existential horror issue with a cover to match for Ice Cream Man.
That's why Ice Cream Man was made of ice cream all along. Okay.
I'm not taking a lick.
Ooh. Next up is G.I. Joe Real American Hero issue 296. This is the Sullivan variant. This is a super cool variant. They've kind of done this before with all the Joes. Looks like this time they're doing all the villains. But what's big about this is this starts the final story arc of IDW's G.I. Joe book. Real American Hero book, too. The Larry Hama has been writing it forever. So as this comes to a close, I imagine there's going to be some pretty big stuff going on in this.
Will they have it to issue 300? Because
maybe.
That would suck for them to miss that.
Yeah, and on 298 or something.
I know, yeah. Okay, so this is the Dagnino variant for Nick's number 8. It's just a cool looking cover.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is an homage. I just can't bring it to the surface on what this. At first I was like, oh, is this first Tigra? But it's not. So if any of you recognize, go ahead and tell us in the comments, because it's going to eat at me until I figure it out. But in any case, pretty cool little variant here.
I wonder if it got graded, if they would understand that, like, there's like a little chip out of the corner and it's meant to look beat up. Would be like, oh, this is in a .2 condition or something.
Grading companies and how good they are at it. I'll just go no comment on that. So the Dagnino variant for Nick's number 8.
Also, there is Samurai Sonia number 2. This is the lyrics variant. This just started last week, telling the kind of story of Red Sonja, but this time in a feudal Japan samurai setting. So I wanted you to see this really cool cover.
Here's a Clockwork Orange poster variant or homage variant for Redman number 2. The artist is Gonzalez. So I have a Clockwork Orange poster actually. So right away it's pretty apparent. They did a lot with this though. This
yeah, definitely they added some bonus things.
Real different if you don't recognize it off the bat. So who is Redman? Redman is a kaiju hunter. So this is for issue number 2, the Gonzalez variant. So now we're getting to other printings and graphic novels, starting with
Grimm number 1, 4th printing. I feel like I missed one of the printings along the way. Has the 3rd printing been out?
The 3rd printing is out, yes.
Okay. I feel like I missed one of them along the way. But super cool that, is it the 3rd printing that is so hard to get now?
The 2nd.
The 2nd printing.
The 2nd print is very hard to get because they solicited it before number 1 arrived. Yes. And so retailers didn't order a lot. So if you missed out on Grimm, it is a fantastic series. Grab this, or if you're trying to collect them all the printings, definitely get this 4th printing. Yeah, it's been that 2nd issue really was awesome. Okay, so here is How to Read Comics the Marvel Way. This is a $13.99 trade paperback. It is going to be, usually I write down how many pages. Yeah, it's 176 pages. So check this out. Basically, it is a graphic novel that tells a story that helps introduce new readers on how to read comics, you know? So many of you out there, you know, like me, I've been reading comics since I was a kid. I can't remember not reading comics, but when I try to get my friends into it, sometimes they don't really understand
the kind of the order of operations on a page.
Yeah, that, and also what the different style word balloons mean, the sound effects, everything. And so Mysterio has trapped Spider-Man in a comic book, and Spider-Man has to defeat him and get out. And to do this, he's going to have to learn every little trick in comics.
He's going to have to read his way out.
Yeah, this sounds fun. This sounds like something I would like to just leaf through just to see how they're doing it, even though I already know all this. But definitely something great to give to a young reader, somebody who's not into comics yet. So just $13.99, and it's 176 pages that also tell stories, but also tell you about what all the little things in comics are.
Okay, next up we have a new omnibus. This is Captain Marvel by Kelly Sue DeConnick. This is 976 pages. Collects everything from her main series, plus Avenging. I believe it's Avenging Spider-Man. I can't remember what issue, but it's the premiere of that costume. It's the first time she was in that costume. Avengers Assemble. And Captain Marvel in the Carol Corps miniseries. So a ton of different series by different creators for, Kelly Sue DeConnick wrote all of them, but by different artists, for $125. This is our main cover. And then we have our McKelvey variant.
All right, so Batman Curse of the White Knight is getting this deluxe hardcover edition for $49.99. This is just all of it, bound up nice in a nice little hardcover, probably a few extras in there as well. Typically do that with the deluxe edition. So 280 pages, the whole shebang, $49.99, just the one cover on this.
And interesting enough, One Dark Night, the hardcover, is out for $29.99. We just talked about the 3rd issue in this being solicited the same week as the hardcover. So I'm guessing these are on 2 separate. Sometimes they'll solicit the books a little bit earlier, the collected editions, than the release. So it may come a few weeks later. But you won't have to wait too long after that last issue to read this awesome series.
Okay, so check this out. This is Constantine Distorted Illusions by Cami Garcia. This is an original graphic novel. It is $16.99. This is sort of like teenager and above sort of book. It's not exactly young adult. It's like maybe a little older than that. But you get to see the teen version of Constantine.
Constantine.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he ends up going to New York to apprentice, learning some more magic. But really, why he's there is his friend has a punk band, and he wants to go join this punk band. So he's playing in a punk band in New York. He's learning magic. He's going to get in all kinds of trouble for $16.99 in this original graphic novel. Once again, by Cami Garcia, who did the Raven graphic novel and many other New York Times bestseller sorts of things.
Another new little graphic novel. This is for only $9.99. This is Dead Man Tells the Spooky Tales. I'm excited about this. One, that cover is awesome. I love Dead Man just being super horror. This is, I think it's pretty all ages, you know, if your kid can take a little bit of spookiness. Various artists team up with writer Franco to tell stories of creepiness that are kind of told Tales from the Crypt style from Dead Man, who is a perfect catalyst for creepy tales. So I'm not sure if these tales are going to involve like Batman and stuff, or if they're just new tales involving just ordinary people, but only $9.99. Looks really fun.
Okay, I got two Harley Quinn things to talk about. The first one is Harley Quinn and the Gotham City Sirens. This is all 26 issues of that series. It had a lot of good writers and artists on it. Like Paul Dini did a lot of the writing. Gilliam March did quite a bit of the art. So this is a nice hardcover collected edition of all 26 issues for $100. I think it comes in at like 648 pages. So quite a bit there. And then they're also doing the Harley Quinn Eat, Bang, Kill tour. This is the collected hardcover volume 1 of this for, I think it's $25.
Do they put volume 1 on it?
Yes.
I wonder if that means there's going to be a volume 2.
That's a very good point. And I mean, we kind of predicted it as hugely popular as the series
was. This was incredibly popular, and some of the best
was
Harley Quinn stuff we've had in a long time.
It was quite good. So all 6 issues, hardcover, is being released as well.
And we finally have our collected edition of I Am Batman. This is the hardcover volume 1 for $24.99, and it collects issues 0 through 5. What was the book right before I Am Batman?
Oh,
the miniseries that spun out of it. So you can read that.
Next Batman.
Next Batman. Yeah, you have Next Batman, then I Am Batman.
Okay. All right, so Wonder Woman is getting a trade, or I'm sorry, Wonder Girl. Wonder Woman. She's
you have more respect for her than that.
Yeah, so Wonder Girl Homecoming is a hardcover that is compiling the whole miniseries of Wonder Girl, so issues 1 through 7, plus her 2 Trial of the Amazon issues. Trial of the Amazon's Wonder Girl 1 and 2. So you get 9 issues in there, all compiled in hardcover. A lot of awesome Joelle Jones art for $39.99, 272 pages.
Wow.
Yep.
It's funny too because like currently she kind of is Wonder Woman. You know, she's kind of taken up that mantle, so she goes back and forth between Wonder Girl and Wonder Woman.
Yara Flor, it's hard to know where she's gonna go next. So, but this is definitely all the main stuff from her, other than the future state stuff.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so it's been a while since we've talked about toys on here, for many reasons. A lot of the time, to order toys at a store like ours, they come in cases instead of individual. So, you know, one person says they want something, but we can't do it because it requires ordering, 10 times that amount. But there are a few things that you can order individually, and it tends to be kind of more premium, but really cool things. And these are the Super 7 Transformers figures. I actually have the first Optimus Prime that came out with this, but we're now able to order these. So this is actually, I believe, wave 4, but some key characters, they didn't put all the big ones in the early ones. These are about 7 inches tall, highly detailed, highly articulated, for $55 each. But they have tons of accessories, really cool. This first one is actually dead Optimus Prime.
I was wondering where his color was.
This is dead Optimus Prime from the movie when he died and went gray. So they're not only doing the characters, but kind of versions of the characters as well.
From the movies.
Yeah. So you've got this version of Optimus Prime. We've got a couple of pictures of this to see a little bit better. You can see him there, kind of
feeble,
staggering away. And then that's what the box art looks like. So very cool if you even leave them in the boxes. Then we have Soundwave. Definitely got to get this one. Comes with the tapes, comes with extra hands, extra heads, I believe, that reflect different versions of him throughout the different comics and animated series. So you can see him there. That's kind of what he's out of the box. And there's his box, still with the cool color that goes along with him. And then finally, you've got Starscream as well. Comes with his weapons, comes with alternate versions. I believe he also has alternate heads. Pretty cool. There's him out of the box. Definitely inspired by the animated series version of him. And there's the box for him. So these are super cool. I have a lot of them myself. And if you haven't ordered toys through us, these would be great ones to get, because you can actually get them through a store like ours. And you can't get them at like big box retailers. They don't carry Super 7 because they are premium direct market toys.
All right, so that is our show for this week. So much to go over. Once again, it was a double week for DC, so you'll see next week when we do the show, there will be no DC on there. But Megan will be joining us next week, provided we don't have 2 people not here at work who should be.
Oh yeah, I'm going to take a vacation.
But thank you all for watching, and if you order with us, you know, we just want our DC orders by Sunday, everything else by Monday, and we'll be back on Tuesday to do our weekly review show of the new comics.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm still saying Tuesday. We moved that show to Monday. We do it a day earlier. That's right. So we will see you on Monday for that. Have a great rest of your week.